Why is it that some brands just simply cannot keep products on their shelf? It almost seems that every single time you go on their website, they're sold out on the products that you want and they just simply cannot stock them enough. Is it that they're not making enough? Is it that they're making way too little simply just to drive up demand? Or do they know something about consumer spending and consumer behavior that you don't know that you can actually benefit from as a startup sportswear brand? On today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the biggest playbook that all top sportswear brands employ in order to make sure that they're stocking the right types of products in the right types of colors, that they're ordering the right format of sizes, they're not ordering too much of the sizes that are unwanted or too little of the sizes that are wanted, that they're consistently following up with their consumers and how the consumers are engaging with their brand. They're presenting their products in a beautiful way, aesthetically pleasing way, and brand aligned way in order to drive sales and to get people to actually click purchase and to be satisfied with their purchase. Number one is going to be effective product selection and inventory management. Imagine this. Imagine you are a brand that caters to the running segment and you don't offer running shorts, or you don't offer a running tank or running shoes. How can you be on running but not have a running tank top? This is the challenge here. Knowing your brand inside out and knowing what sort of products you need to select in order to cater to your consumers' demands. The likewise or the flip side is also relevant here. Making sure that you're selecting the right products and you're avoiding the wrong types of products that are not a correct market fit for your specific consumer type. The other challenge here is making sure that you're selecting the right inventory levels of those products. You're not overstocking and you're definitely not understocking. The cardinal sin in consumer brands is having demand for something and not having the foresight to stock it correctly. So leaving money on the table. If you just simply don't know how much demand is going to be available for a specific product type, you are doing merchandising incorrectly. Number two, as part of an effective merchandising strategy, you need to have your pricing strategy on point. Your prices should be strategically aligned with your consumer type, your brand vision, your market position, and ultimately your brand mechanics or your business mechanics. If your brand is trying to position itself as a premium and luxury brand, underpricing from the competition is going to give people the wrong impression of your brand. Likewise, if you're looking at being a budget-friendly brand, overcharging for a specific product is also going to be at your detriment. Another thing is understanding your business mechanics or the commercial mechanics of the business. If you're underpricing your garments to the point where you cannot generate a reasonable profit, you cannot make a net profit of around 20 to 25% at least, you're not creating a gross profit margin between 50 and 80% at least, then you're going to find yourself with not enough revenue for future growth, R&D, pay yourself back. It's not going to be a worthwhile endeavor. Number three is visual merchandising. As a startup sportswear brand, most likely your visual merchandising is not going to be an in-store retail experience where you're perfectly arranging the ambiance and the lights and the mannequins. Make sure that your cashier is in the right position, that your greeter is in the right position. Here, you're most likely going to be focusing on your digital presence, aka your website and your social media. How easy is your website to navigate? Is it inviting? Is it clear? Does your website give and better align with your brand image? If your image is that of a premium, luxurious brand, are you getting that across with your website? Or is it slow? Is it clunky? Is it unprofessional? Does it look cheap? Making sure that your visual merchandising is on point is key because first impressions matter, and the second someone lands on your website, they're now making a decision. Does this experience that I'm having align with my brand perception? You might have done a good job to get an influencer campaign to get your consumers from that influencer's page onto your website or from your Instagram onto your website. But now it's time for you to put your money where your mouth is and to reaffirm the brand value. Number four is you have to have multiple sales channels and efficient distribution. As a startup brand, you have the unique opportunity to go direct to consumer. This is something that Nike didn't have in the early days of its business. You can cut out the middleman completely and you can go direct to consumer through social media, through your website, through one-on-one events. This gives you a tremendous opportunity to extract the marginal value that retailers and wholesalers were bringing into the business and to gather that yourself. So making sure you're present on the right platforms and you're reaching your audience correctly by creating the right content and running the right ads is key. Then when it comes to distribution, making sure that you have the right distribution in place, whether it's your final fulfillment, if you're doing it yourself, or you're using a 3PL, or you're using a regional fulfillment center, or you're doing Amazon FBA. Type of fulfillment that you choose should perfectly align with your business. Number five, as part of an effective merchandising strategy, you need to have good forecasting. So you need to look at different companies and you need to look at different forecasting tools and project out a year to 2 years in advance. What are consumers going to want? What products are going to be in demand? What fabrics are going to be at the cutting edge? This is why I recommend using tools like WGSN, which is a international fashion forecasting website. It gives you reports on different types of innovative capsule collections to create, different types of fabrics, so that you can stay ahead of the curve time and time again, and you could project out where consumer spending is going to be in 24 to 48 months. Last but not least is going to be sales performance monitoring. Once you put something out into the world, do you just leave it and you hope for the best? You say, sure, I've launched this collection. Now I don't need to check up. I don't need to follow up on it. I don't need to see which product, which variant, which color, which size performed the best, which size underperformed, which colorway underperformed, which product type underperformed, which sales channel got me the best performance. Making sure that you are actually looking at your sales reports a month, 2 months, 4 months, a quarter down the line gives you the feedback loop that you need to re-implement more effectively in future collections. Let me know what you guys think. That's been my merchandising strategy that I picked up working with some of the world's best sportswear brands, and this is what I see them do personally. If you guys enjoyed this episode, let me know in the comments below what other types of videos you want to see in the future, and if you want my personal opinion on how you can up your merchandising game, how you can select the right products, the right colors, how you can select the right distribution channels, check the link in the description. I offer one-on-one consultation calls, and I'd love to get on a call with you and do a personalized call. So I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Fit Design TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.